Good day, co-workers. Let's talk today about heat waves, seeing as we are experiencing a heat wave. Training outcomes. This is a safety awareness notification, so it's not specifically training. It's just a short discussion from my side towards you guys to let you know how to treat a specific situation. And in this discussion, we will be looking at heat waves and how it influences you at site. So we will be discussing issues such as what is a heat wave, what to do in a heat wave, what not to do in a heat wave, and how to treat a person affected by the heat. So please, all the supervisors in the team and the managers, please ensure that each team member watches this presentation and interact with them, get feedback, let's talk about this and make a great awareness about this heat wave issue. What is a heat wave? Currently, we are experiencing a heat wave caused by the equinox phenomenon. This phenomenon is due to the sun directly positioned above the equator line. If you can't remember your school days, the equator line is basically an imaginary line that splits the earth into two sections. It splits it down in the half horizontally. And thus with the sun on the equator line, it is heating up the earth. So for the next 5 days, we will be experiencing temperatures as high as 40 degrees Celsius or even more. Heat waves aren't always caused by this phenomenon. Basically, what a heat wave is extreme heat for prolonged periods of time, not commonly known for the season. Now, a heat wave is considered extreme weather and a danger because heat and sunlight might overheat the human body. Currently, the heat wave is at its worst in the Eastern Cape. There has already been a possibility of a fatality caused by heat stroke due to the heat wave. Regions affected. Currently, the heat wave is affecting the Eastern Cape, Western Cape, and Northern Cape. But the heat wave can move towards your region if you are not in these regions. Please keep an eye out on the forecasts for your region. Most cell phones today has a weather forecaster. Please keep your eye on it. See when your temperatures reach higher and more threatening. I will try to keep you guys up to date as far as possible. Currently, we are mostly affected in the Eastern Cape by this heat wave. Areas with the highest temperatures are Patensie, Uitenhage, Port Elizabeth, Joubertina, and Addo. Other areas which are also becoming higher temperatures are Port Alfred, East London, and Grahamstown. Now, generally, we use 35 degrees as a guideline, but because there are so many different factors to take into account when looking at heat wave and heat exposure, when you feel discomfort from the heat, treat it as a dangerous level of heat. Fire warnings has also been issued in the following regions: the Northern Cape, the West Coast District, the Central Karoo of the Western Cape, the Cape Winelands and Northwestern Interior of the Overberg District, and the Eastern Cape. What does this mean to you? This means do not make fires and do not perform hot works which could cause fires. Stay aware. If there is a fire, get out. It will spread really fast due to the heat and the dryness of the area. If an accidental fire occurs, take it out as soon as possible. Get your fire equipment and take out the fire before it can spread. And contact the emergency services if you see a fire or even if you've caused a fire. Don't be worried about getting into trouble. Call them so they can get it under control in enough time before it spreads too far. Please go and visit your firefighting training. I've got the links down here, and you can also view the links if you're on YouTube in the description below. Go there, check it out, see what you have to do. How to protect yourself. Avoid working in direct sunlight, especially if you guys are working at heights. Rather not work between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. on heights. It's very important. If you faint on heights, it's extremely dangerous. Then stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water, at least 3 liters. Avoid sugar drinks because it will give you a false energy, so you won't notice if the heat is affecting you. Take breaks. Take additional breaks to cool down. Rather waste 5 minutes of work for cooling down than hours due to casualties. And then protect yourself by using sunscreen and sunglasses for eye protection. And do not remove required PPE or safety gear. This is very important. You can remove clothing to cool you down, but do not remove PPE or safety gear that you need, such as your harness or your hard hat or your safety boots. Please do not neglect your safety for this. Let's look at some symptoms. Firstly, heat exposure. This is the first stage you will reach. When your body temperature goes above 38.8 degrees Celsius, when you start getting a headache, you feel fatigued or weak, when you start sweating excessively, when your blood pressure drops, and when your pulse is getting raised. Remember, you can move from a heat exhaustion to a heat stroke if you do not treat it. So let's look at the heat stroke symptom. When it becomes a heat stroke, this is when it becomes extremely dangerous. When your body temperature goes above 40.6 degrees Celsius, you can go into seizures or even a coma. It's very dangerous. So look out for the following in other team members, because a person most commonly will not notice that they are having a heat stroke. So this is where it's important that you focus on each other. A person will become anxious and confused. They might not know where they are, or they could start panicking, anything like that. Or they could have hallucinations. They might see people that's not there or see things that is not there, or they can become incoherent. In other words, they will talk in sentences that does not make sense, or they would confuse names, etc. And then you would also see them experiencing extreme sweating. So please, it's very important that you guys look at each other. Check out for the other persons around you. Are they experiencing any of these symptoms? Talk to a person to see how they respond. When it becomes extremely dangerous is when this person faints or becomes aggressive. So you have to please try and pick it up before. If a person faints, you will know what to do. If they become aggressive, you need to calm that person down so you can assist them. Treatment for heat exposure. We're going to look at how you're going to treat your patients if a person has experienced either heat stroke, heat exhaustion, sunburns, or fainted due to the heat. Please go and download the St. John's app. This will assist you greatly on site. I've left the links down below for the training which explains to you how to download this app. Please go and download it. It will help you extremely. When a person experiences the effects of heat exposure, they will either be responsive or not responsive. And now we will discuss how to treat them in both of those cases. Firstly, let's quickly look at the picture I've placed at the top left corner. This is how to cool a person down, which areas to focus on when you are cooling a person down when they have been exposed to heat, thus had a heat stroke or heat exhaustion. You will start by cooling down the neck area, the armpits area, and the groin between the legs. These are where the heat manifests the most. If you cool these down, the patient would most probably cool down too. So, firstly, if your patient is non-responsive, thus the person has fainted or they are aggressive or incoherent, they can't understand you. Firstly, remove the casualty from the heated area and place them in the recovery position. Dial 112 for your emergency services to come out to site immediately. Wrap the casualty in a cold, wet sheet. Remember, we discussed where to cool a person down. And then keep an eye on their pupils for shock. Remember, if this person is very hot and you are cooling them down too fast, they will go into shock. So look at the pupils, see if they dilate or not. Once the temperature reduces, remove the wet sheet with a dry one. And then monitor until the emergency services arrive. If the patient is responsive, they're feeling faint, or they've just got heat exhaustion or sunburn, and they are telling you, they are communicating with you. Firstly, remove this person from the heated area. Place them in a cool place like in the shade. Lay the casualty down and raise their legs and support their legs. And then dial 112 for emergency services. Provide the casualty with water only. Monitor this person until the emergency services has arrived and can take the situation further, and then advise the casualty to see a doctor about any sunburned areas and to inform the doctor of the incident. And now it's very important, do not allow this person to continue work, even if they feel better. If they become responsive and they've cooled down and they tell you, no, I'm fine, I'll continue with work, don't do it. This person is not allowed to continue work. They should take the rest of the day, relax, get rest, and get better properly. And they should see a professional, a doctor or the emergency services, who can tell them, okay, now you are fit for work again. Here is just some photos of victims who have suffered either heat strokes or heat exhaustion. Tips for heat waves. How to know if the heat is dangerous. Place a new unused candle outside your home area or exposed area. If candle can melt, it is a dangerous level. Protect your home and loved ones. Take cold showers as frequent as possible. Always place a pail or a 2-water half filled in the living room and each and every other room to keep it moist temperature down. Stay indoors between 12 and 3 p.m. and remember your pets. Keep them hydrated and have a cool place for them to cool down or let them inside. Great thanks. Thank you to Andre Opperman Jr. for raising this issue. Your contribution towards the safety of our teams are greatly appreciated. Training conclusion. If you have any complaints, improvement suggestions, and or any other issues you feel should be raised, please feel free to let me know about it. Your involvement will be noted and greatly appreciated. Let's work together in reaching optimal health and safety and environmental operations within our workplace. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It will keep you up to date with everything that is going on. Even if you're not the supervisor, just subscribe. You will get notified. And remember to view the links in the descriptions below.